On Shantae, he's come on through. Flykingi, take a trip, rendezvous. Roll a hybrid while we smoking haze. We throw shade on sunny days, so come on.
Woo! Bitch, I almost burned myself. This tea is so hot today. Welcome back to the castle with yours truly, the Flykingi, where I sit on my phone and mind your business, okay? Not mine, but your business. So today we're here to talk about Mrs. Evelyn Braxton because we gotta talk about this, you guys. How do you have 5 daughters and all 5 of them end up in fucked up marriages and can't keep a positive relationship with a man? Lord have mercy. How does that happen? So in order to find out what happened at the end of the story, you got to start from the beginning. So Evelyn, she has 6 kids. She had 1 son. We won't talk about him because I don't even know if that man even exists anymore because no one talks about him. And she had 5 beautiful little girls. She discovered that her little girls could sing one day when one of her daughters, Miss Tamar Braxton, had a shitty ass and was in the toilet. And you can imagine having 5 girls in the house, there's never no toilet paper. And Tamar needed some toilet paper, so she decided to sing to the rest of the family that she needed some toilet paper. Let's take a look at the clip.
Quite often we run out of toilet paper because so many people in the family. And she yelled and said, "Somebody give me some toilet paper." And we all ran in there and we started singing.
That's not really how it happened.
Yes, that's how it happened. Yes, that's how it happened.
I yelled and nobody came until I sung "Somebody Give Me Some Toilet Paper."
Give it to us. Give us that song.
Till I sung, they came in one by one, and then they came in. Sing it.
So after she discovered that her daughters had these beautiful voices, she groomed them and they ended up getting a record deal, which ended up working out in Toni Braxton's favor. And she signed to LaFace Records and became the beautiful Toni Braxton that we know today. Now, with that being said, Evelyn Braxton, as the mother, even though Toni was the one that was famous and going on tour, she made Toni bring her sisters along. But instead of that unifying the sisters, that ended up pitting them against each other. And they was in these competitions with each other. Who could sing better? Who can get a better man? Who could have the most babies? Who can this and that? So it didn't really unify them. It really caused division at the end of the day. I don't know if that was her intention. I doubt that was her intention. I'm sure she wanted to keep her daughters together, but I don't think she realized that you have 5 separate daughters. And even though that they're sisters, they're still each their individual person and need to be their individual person. They don't need to be clumped up together. And that really didn't become evident until they did their show, The Braxton Family Values. And it's interesting because I Googled Braxton Family Values and the show pops up, but none of the actual values that they speak about is on the show. And there's no values on the show at all.
Tracy from trying to beat me up like she always does.
Bigger betrayals.
I will be pressing charges.
Bigger meltdowns. And the biggest show-stopping drama yet.
This is not who I am. This is my last scene and
See what I mean? Now, Evelyn Braxton was married to Michael Sr. Braxton, who was, of course, her husband. Her husband was a pastor, and Evelyn groomed her family around the fact that her husband was a pastor. They lived very Christ-like. They didn't listen to certain music. They only listened to gospel music. And Evelyn and her husband ended up having issues in their marriage. So Michael, Evelyn's husband at the time, ended up confiding in a lady named Wanda. They became friends. And he ended up leaving Evelyn to pursue a marriage with Wanda. And him and Wanda are actually still married to this day. Now, Michael says it had nothing to do with Wanda, the reason why they got divorced. I doubt it. I feel like Evelyn was, very bossy and very persnippety, like she displays on Braxton Family Values. And niggas don't like all that shit all the time, all that, like, bitch, you gotta calm down at some point. So he ended up leaving you for this other woman. Now, according to him, he didn't mean it to happen like that, but that's just how it ended up happening.
I don't like to talk about my past so much, but Evelyn and I were having problems in our relationship. And I hate saying this, but I reached out to Wanda, and she was a nice person to talk with. And from our talking, I strayed. I'm not proud of it, but it happened.
Now, I can only imagine a woman that had 6 kids with a man who was a pastor and she's holding everything together would be distraught at the fact that she has to deal with this other woman and your man left you, the embarrassment, the bitterness. But the thing about Evelyn is Evelyn never got over it. Even to this day, they went on a family vacation to Mexico and they invited the father, and the father invited his current wife, and the current wife, and Evelyn didn't even want to be in the same country as them, so she literally came back to the States. Whenever the girls got married, they had to choose between inviting their mother or their father, because the father was going to bring his wife, as he should, and Evelyn didn't want to be in the presence. Now, my thing is, I understand. My thing is, all of this happened 20 decades ago. So at what point do we not become adults and be able to at least coexist for our children? And because you've displayed this bitterness, Evelyn, it's caused your daughters to be these bitter, angry black women and be in these and be snippety and all like this with men and their husbands, and bossy like this with their husbands, and end up in these tumultuous relationships. For example, your daughter, who you allege is being abused by her husband Vince, and this is not the first relationship that Tamar has been in where she said that she was physically, mentally, or emotionally abused. You were even saying that Vince is about to kill her. You sat in front of the TSA pre-check at the Los Angeles International Tom Brady Airport and said that Vince might kill your daughter.
What would you say to Vince right now? I mean, you guys.
I don't really have anything to say to Ben. Only one thing: keep his hands off of my child. Stop before he hurts her or kills her. I love Ben, but I don't want him to kill my child. As simple as that.
Then your daughter Tawanda ends up marrying Andre, who ends up being like, not having no job and just kind of being a stay-at-home type of dad, and they end up getting divorced. He asks for custody of his kids, and that becomes nasty. Tracy is on marriage boot camp. She's cheating on her husband. Her husband's cheating on her. Toni Braxton ain't had a man since You're Making Me High. Hell, Toni Braxton can't even keep her finances in the green, but that's a whole nother video. Now, that brings me to Trina Braxton, right? Because Trina Braxton was recently on Iyanla Fix My Life. Now, she was on there with her husband, which is another tumultuous marriage that she had with her husband, Gabe. You know, the one with the ding-a-ling of gold. Now, during the episode of Iyanla, we even have Iyanla sit down and talk to Trina's children, who even admit that they hate Gabe. And sitting down with talking with Gabe, we realized that Gabe never was, he was physically in the marriage, but he was never mentally, spiritually, or emotionally invested in the marriage. And he felt like Trina always bossed him around, made him feel like shit, and just was always angry and snippety. Similar to Miss Evelyn Braxton and the rest of the Braxton sisters, all because of what Evelyn went through with her husband, and it then trickled down to her causing her daughters to live the same generational curse of not being able to have a healthy relationship with the opposite sex. And what's interesting to me is Iyanla just had to say enough was enough. The bitch.
In the hell? What in the hell?
Then Iyanla said some groundbreaking shit. She sat down and she said, I'm pretty sure your mom will be shocked and horrified to find out that she raised daughters that are bitter and angry. And Trina literally fucking gagged.
Just like I'm sure your mother might be shocked and horrified to hear how she taught you to be mean and bitter as a woman. You're shaking your head no. How'd you learn it?
I ain't hear no lies.
What in the hell? What in the hell?
But all jokes aside, I really seriously hope that Evelyn can understand that her holding on to the bitterness of her husband doing whatever he did because of whatever y'all had going on, it's having a negative effect on your daughters. And, you know, luckily most of them had sons, but I think Tawanda has a daughter named Brooke, and I hope Brooke doesn't grow up to be angry and she's able to have a healthy relationship with another man, because she deserves that. She deserves to be loved, and she deserves that. She deserves to understand that in life you go through things, and that's okay. You have to get through them though. You can't be 6 kids, 25,000 years ago, 11 years ago, and you can't even sit in the same room as your man and his current wife. You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of people. You have to bring it together for the children. Now, Toni Braxton, luckily, she's married to baby. I'm very happy for her. Well, not married, I'm sorry. She's engaged or about to get engaged or whatever she's going on. Anyways, if they end up getting married, I hope that Evelyn can find it in her heart to attend the wedding along with Michael Sr. Braxton and his wife, Wanda, so they can at least coexist. And I feel like that's going to break this curse of these women not being able to have a healthy relationship with a man that I feel like they deserve. And it would be the first time in 6 seasons that we will actually be able to see some values in a show that's branded as Braxton Family Values. So thank you. That was Flykingi minding on y'all business. So now I'm going to go back to my business, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
In the hell? What in the hell?